Hey guys, EagleX here, and today I have a fun video. For you guys who don't know, the Nationals information is been rolling out. We've had the events running, and today we had our first two tournaments concluded. One being for Tournament Center as the organizer in Europe, and Kokui for the organizer in Latin America. So these have been concluded, and we do have top 16 deck lists for the Tournament Center event, which I have pulled up here. If you guys don't know where I got it from their Discord here. They have a link. I'll have it in the description of the video. And to make it a little easier, when you click on it, it is just going to be this Google sheet. I figured for everyone that you would prefer visual, so I have over here all DigimonCard.dev profiles. So let's go ahead and take a dive. And there are some cool things I think you guys would be excited for from the inclusion of EX1 and some new deck lists that you probably weren't expecting to do so well. I know I was surprised when I took a quick glance. So first place, we did have a Jesmon list. In this Jesmon list, it's pretty much your bread and butter stuff for the most part, except when you get to the small white package with Analog Youth and Emergency Program Shutdown or Program Emergency Shutdown. This stops your opponent from using options. If you're playing against a Gabu player, you can turn off the ability for them to use Ice Walls if you have everything set up and raising. To make room for this, trying to see what they cut out here, but you have your 2 red memory boosts, you have 3 red ties, you have 2 judgments, delicate plan, gravity crush. It looks like you have a little bit more of everything here. You got your 4 savior hug. I'm trying to see if there's anything kind of weird, but they did make it all fit. Nonetheless, really cool list here. In second place, we had a typical Gabu Rush list. The only thing that probably is unique to it is the Kakumon inclusion, along with using 4 Ice Wall from EX1, but no one's really surprised about that card or for the EX Gabu being included now, as they're staples to the deck. And Ice Wall just kind of is staple, which is why it's on that restriction list. So this is second place Gabu Rush. In third place, our first spicy deck list that people probably weren't expecting, was Diaboromon. The biggest tech this deck has against Gabu Bond is the level 5 Inframon, which makes it cost 1 more for them to Digivolve into their Bond. Because it's a level 5 or higher, once per turn, your opponent, you will gain a memory, I think is how it's worded. Everything else is your staple stuff, and then for the EX1 Diaboromon, which makes blockers, and it gives Gabu Bond a hard time finishing off, because they don't have a way to remove level 6 tokens. So that's probably the big reason why for Diaboromon did as well. And as you'll see here, we're going to have lots of Gabu Bond lists. This is an Ancient Bond list. It uses the new Analog Youth to combo with Ancient Garurumon. If you have this out and you do your Ancient Warp, you play Ice Wall to go to one of your opponent's side. Ancient's going to die from the Lobo Warp. You suspend Analog Boy, you hatch an egg, gain a memory, and it's still your turn. Then you can do another play by going in your raising area into another Gabumon and get like another mat set up, or you can even double Ice Wall or remove with Absolute Blast. And you even have a Lobomon here you can use to swing for game. But that's Ancient Bond. Then here for this list, looks like we have another Gabu Rush. It emphasizes a little bit more of the hybrids, but you have 3 Davis, 4 Mat. Nothing super crazy here. Kakaitis and Rattlestars for removal, 4 Ice Wall, 2 Howling Memory Boost for stun to give you another chance, and 4 Cordramon is probably the more unique thing of this list. And coming here, we have our first Pepsi Bond list. You guys don't know, Pepsi Bond uses the red ties to get Delicate Plans and Lightning Joust, so you can OTK your opponent more frequently, and you can do it safely. It uses 3 Davis, 1 Sora Joe, 4 Mat, and 3 Howling Memory Boost to give you more time to set up your Gabu Bonds with the whole combo. So a really cool list. And here we have one of the more unique lists. It uses Mechanorimons, Star Deck Mats, Cordramons, and then everything else is pretty standard. Absolute Blast being one of the more unique cards with the Ice, or not Ice, well I guess here in America we call it Kakaitis Breath, or Cocytus Breath, however you pronounce it. Only 1 Dash Pack Gabu. If you guys haven't noticed, Dash Pack Gabus aren't that frequent in Gabu Bond list. It's a cool card, but it's not necessary for the list to work. And here we have another Diaboromon list. This one uses Jawalt Shormer for board clear, has the blocker Diaboromon for this Inframon again, Mechanories to help the rookie chip, Chumon for memory block. So pretty standard Diaboromon list that you'll be seeing from this event. Here we have our first Commandramon list. It's more of a security Commandramon list because it has some of these options. It has the security digis. The really cool thing here is the Ogremon. They use the Ogremon to fill trash for their D-Brigade stuff so they can get Darkdramons more frequently. Pops Mechanorimons, the Mechanori for the rookie chip in their own list. And then just some really good security effects along with Izzy and Izzy Azumi and Joe for extra memory gain. And some really cool level 7s to go on top of their 4 Darkdramon. And for good security effects on top of that, or security bodies on top of that. And here we have our first security control list. It's a BL Star security control. It utilizes the Musketeer options of Jawalt Shormer and Happy Bullet Showering. And a really cool card here is All Delete. All Delete here, if you guys don't know, is a 10 cost option where if you have an Omnimon on the field, you can play this option for 10. And when you do, it will wipe the board of everything Tamer and Digimon related. It will leave options like your memory boosts that you've played on the field still, because they've already been casted and it doesn't remove the options from the field. This is really good for those Gabu Bond matchups, because what they would like to do is they're either playing Pepsi Bond where they'll OTK you, and if they're not playing that, they're playing the Gabu Rush version, and if they're playing Gabu Rush, what they love doing is chipping you down to 4 and then setting up 4 Tamers, hold 4 Lobomons, Kendo Garurumons in combination with memory boost, and then OTK you from the Tamers, which is what happens in next set and why security control kind of dies. So they run this All Delete to remove those Tamers, so they have that win con still consistently of just controlling the board and not allowing their opponent to OTK them. So props to this person for taking in All Delete. I actually really love the idea, especially since you're going to be controlling the board ideally, you might as well control the Tamers as well. Our next list, we have another Gabu Rush player, uses 1 Ikakumon, EX Gabumon, 4 Ice Wall. I'm pretty sure every Gabu Rush list has 4 Ice Wall. There's no reason not to run it. It's a good card. Here we have our first Gabu Rush list that has a Magnadramon. They have a lot more security effects in here. 3 Hammer Spark, 4 Ice Wall, 2 Ralstar, and then their 2 Memory Boosts and all their Tamers and Cordramons. So it's a lot simpler, but it still does the exact same thing. Punches your opponent in the face for a lot. Now for 13th place, we have another Gabu Rush list. This one uses Mechanories. A lot of unique security effects. My guess is they use them because they're all good in different situations and scenarios. Instead of 3 Davis, they do have 1 starter deck mat in addition to regular mat, which actually does work with the BT6 Gabumon. As long as Matt Ishida is in the name of the Tamer, you do gain a memory. So he's just another way to gain a memory, or you can play the Tamer for 1 even. Now we have another Diaboromon list. This one's your typical 4 EX1 Diaboromon. This one has 2 promos and 3 Inframons. With Final Zubagon Punch to get extra damage, because the 13k will apply to Armageddonmon, and if you have the Sunomon egg, here it gives you an extra 2,000 if you have something with the same name. So you'll have 13k bodies. And it'll give a reboot and blocker to one of your targets. So if you have Decoy, it will keep them alive from card removal effects, assuming you have another token, etc., etc. So really cool, more control style with an OTK finish. Our first pure Musketeer list here. The Musketeer list actually uses Magnakidmon and only 2 BL stars. And I would assume the reasoning for that is you have the Impmons to call them back and have more recursion, and gives you flexibility with the other Musketeer cards. Uses 2 Happy Bullet Showering, and then your mix of options, which are pretty standard. 1 melee to attack against Cranias, but obviously we haven't seen any of those. And then in 16th place, we have our only Machinedramon deck list, guys. So if you guys wanted to see a brand new fresh deck list from the EX1 set, here it is. You have your Digimon deck list that top 16 in Europe. Now, what's going to happen tomorrow, guys, is you're going to see the results of the top 16 and see who took it all nationals over in Europe, and then for Latin America as well. I didn't see deck lists for those at the moment, but as soon as I find them, I'll share it with you guys. That being said, if you enjoy this content, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell as I try to keep you up to date on the latest Digimon news. That being said, take care, guys.